Hello, lovely soul. I'm Karen, your records keeper. Today, I want to let you know about something that quietly shapes so many of us. The pain we didn't choose but still carry. Some of the emotions you feel, the fear that rises up for no reason, the tightening in your chest, the self-doubt that just won't go away may not have started with you. You might be holding on to the unspoken grief of a grandmother, the survival instinct of a great-grandfather who lost everything, or a belief passed through generations like an invisible inheritance. But just because it didn't start with you doesn't mean it can't end with you. You have the power to become the turning point, the one who breaks the cycle and writes a new story. In this video, we'll explore how generational trauma is passed down not just through DNA, but also through energy, beliefs, and soul contracts. And we'll look at how the Akashic Records can help us trace those invisible patterns, understand their origin, and release them. In the end, I'll guide you through a short but powerful 5-minute ritual that will help you begin this healing work today. Let's begin. So, generational trauma can feel like stepping into a story that was already put in motion long before you arrived on this planet. It's waking up inside an emotional landscape that doesn't quite belong to you, but has shaped your choices, your relationships, and your sense of safety in the world. Maybe you've always struggled with anxiety, but just can't quite pinpoint its source. Or maybe repeating the same painful patterns in love and money and self-worth. No matter how much inner work you do, perhaps you notice your family has always avoided talking about emotions, that there's a tendency to struggle that no one can seem to escape. Now, psychologists have shown us that trauma can be inherited through epigenetics, which is the study of how environmental factors and behaviors can influence gene expression. Children and grandchildren of those who survived war, poverty, persecution, or violence can carry heightened stress responses in their bodies, even if they've never directly experienced the trauma themselves. But there is a deeper layer, a spiritual layer. So on a soul level, we don't just inherit eye color or traditions, we also inherit energetic imprints, unspoken agreements, and the unresolved stories of those who came before us. Now, these lives live in our bones and our Akashic fields like quiet echoes. The Akashic Records help us hear those echoes clearly so we can stop mistaking them for our own voice. Now, the Akashic Records are just not a mystical concept. They're a sacred archive, an energetic field that holds the full story of your soul, including its intersections with family, lineage, and the collective. When you enter the records with a sincere intention to understand your generational wounds, something extraordinary happens. The truth begins to rise. You might see a memory that's not yours but feels like home. You might feel a wave of emotion that doesn't match your personal story, but carries the weight of many lives. Sometimes you receive a message or an image from an ancestor who is reaching toward you with love, asking you to do what they could not. Well, one client of mine struggled with this unshakable fear of financial loss, and despite having a secure job and healthy savings, she always felt she was on the edge of collapse. So in the records, though, we were able to see a vivid image of her grandmother hiding valuables during wartime. Now, the fear of scarcity, born in chaos, had crystallized into a soul imprint. And my client, in a beautiful act of ancestral loyalty, had taken on that fear to keep the memory alive. But the records helped her see that the memory could still be honored without being relived. And this was the gift of the records, to show us what we inherited with love and how to return it with even more. So not all inherited trauma shouts. Much of it's whispers. It whispers in the moments you freeze, even when you know you're safe, and the quiet guilt that arises when you rest or enjoy beauty or claim success. It whispers through patterns that seem to run in families like an unspoken script. So you might find yourself drawn to emotionally distant partners, not out of preference, but from a strong sense of feeling strangely familiar. You might work tirelessly and still feel undeserving, or you might feel responsible for everyone's emotions, believing that to care for others, you must abandon yourself. So generational trauma can live in the body too, in the tight shoulders of someone who's always been strong, or in the clenched jaw of a lineage that never spoke the truth, in the digestive issues of a family that has swallowed its pain. And then there are those who feel from an early age that we are different, the black sheep, the truth teller, the one that can see what others avoid. So if you feel called to end the cycle, it's likely because you were born with the strength to do so. None of this makes you broken. This makes you brave. When you open your Akashic Records, you're stepping into this sacred space, a space where judgment falls away and truth gently comes forward. The first step is to clear and have heartfelt intention. Ask yourself, what story am I still carrying that doesn't feel like mine? What emotion or belief is surfacing? And no matter how much I work on it, so what might my soul be ready to release? Not just for me, but for those who came before and those who will come after. When you enter the records, you speak this intention. You ask to be shown the origin of the pain. You ask which ancestor is it connected to. Ask what belief was born in that moment. Ask what your soul needs in order to release it. You might receive visions or emotions or simply a knowing. Follow what arises with trust. But once you understand the root, it's time to release. This might mean visualizing energetic cords being cut or old contracts being rewritten, or simply placing a hand over your heart and saying, "Thank you, I release you." Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means honoring and choosing again. Afterwards, give yourself the space to integrate. Drink water, rest, let the shift settle. You might feel weepy, you might feel light, or deeply still. All are welcome. Now let's do something together. It's a quick ritual that blends intuition with ancient memory. Now, you don't need to be an expert to begin. You don't even need to have formally opened your Akashic Records. Though if you've watched my video on how to do that, you'll know how powerful that can be. This ritual works whether you're in the records or simply listening to your intuition. So first, begin by finding a small object, something that represents your lineage. It could be a stone or a piece of jewelry, a photograph, or even a leaf from outside. Hold it gently in your hands and close your eyes. Breathe in deeply 3 times. And with each breath, imagine soft light gathering around you, a golden cocoon of safety and sacred space. Now whisper this question to your intuition or to the records if you've opened them. What story have I inherited that I'm ready to return? And pause. Let the answer come in any form. A word, a memory, a body sensation. Don't rush it. Don't judge it. Just receive. Next, place the object in front of you and say gently, "Thank you for carrying this story. I honor its purpose, but I choose to write a new chapter." Softly blow on the object as if you're blowing away centuries of dust. And imagine the old energy dissolving, returning to the earth, neutral and free. Now speak aloud a new truth. Let it rise intuitively. Something like, "I am the first in my line to choose peace. I am the bridge between pain and freedom. Where I walk toward love and lightness." Place your hand on your heart. Feel yourself breathe. Feel your presence. And close your records. Or close by saying, "May this healing ripple through time. May it bless all who came before and all who come after. You've just done something extraordinary, something your ancestors couldn't. And if you're curious about how to open your own Akashic Records and deepen this practice, I have a full video on that too. It's simpler than you think and more beautiful than you can imagine. Now, if you're carrying generational trauma, you're not weak for feeling this pain. You're powerful for facing it. What you're doing isn't just personal, it's cosmic, it's ancestral, it's sacred. You were never meant to carry it all, but you were meant to heal. So by choosing healing, you become the medicine your lineage has been waiting for. When you do this work, you bring peace to the past and you create freedom for the future. You're the one that gets to say, it ends with me. I'm so grateful you were here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a single bit of Akashic love. And if something in this video resonated with you, I would love to hear about it. So leave a comment below and share what part of your story feels ready to be rewritten. If you're ready to go deeper, you can book a private Akashic Records reading with me. The link is in the description. And you can also download a copy of this 5-minute ritual. It's available for free. And I put the link in the description as well. Remember, you're not broken, you're healing. You are the legacy. Until next time, I'm Karen, your records keeper. Bye.